Hey guys, it's me. If you see if you just now coming on and you see the title, you know why I'm here. I'm doing my Fastlane review because I watched it on Monday. I watched it on Monday on Peacock on my TV, but I was not able to do a review of it yesterday because and like I also and like you're gonna see in the description, I'm gonna be doing these I think for all the PLEs going forward. At least like I said, at least I hope to. Where I'm gonna, where like, and I'm not gonna be watching the PLEs, the WWE PLEs, the that day that they happen, because most of the time I'll be either on a on one of my friends' live streams, my friend's live stream, Matt Choice, participating in trivia actually for that PLE, for that live stream, for that WWE show, or if it's like an NXT pay per view, I'll probably be doing something anyways. It's keeping me from watching it live. So what I do is when I can, I'll watch the show as soon as I can, and then someday during the week I'll do like a review of the show. And so I'm finally getting able to do a review of Fastlane. So and don't mind me, I'm just wearing my Broncos jersey for some reason today. I just felt like wearing it. But I want. But hey, how's everybody doing today? I know this is sort of something I didn't plan on. Well, I mean, I wanted to do it, but I didn't exactly plan on just jumping right into it. I just kind of wanted to, which I'll have some notice before I start it. But that's okay. I'll start things off. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I'll just get right into it. The opening match that we got was a tag team match for the undisputed tag team championships. Judgment Day versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Rhodes and Jey Uso. It was basically what the tag team match for Payback was, except this time the babyface actually won. Like, if you think about it, it's basically a 5-on-2 situation. Now in the now in the match, the Judgment Day had a payback for the undisputed tag team titles where they faced Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. That was a Philly street fight, so it wasn't like it was, but Steel City street fight, Steel City street fight. So it's not like it was, so it's not like Judgment Day couldn't be Jason Herpel. I don't know who you are, but thanks for joining, I guess. But it's not like Payback where it was a Steel City street fight, which meant that they Judgment Day couldn't be counted out or disqualified for what they were doing. To it was still, hey my flock, anybody that's coming in that wants to put a like on the live stream, feel free to do so. It's never a requirement, but I would appreciate it. But I would appreciate it. But yeah, I'm just doing a review of WWE Fastlane. I watched the show, like I said, on Monday. Was not able to do a review yesterday because for the majority of the afternoon, I was at home. I was out doing stuff, and I probably wasn't going to be able to do it. And then I was also watching the TV and stuff in the morning, so I just decided that I was going to do it. If I could, I was going to do it at some point today if I had a chance to be alone. But yeah, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for the likes. And like I said, like I just said, never a requirement to like the stream, but I would appreciate it. Thanks, my flock. But yeah, let's see the tag team championship match. We got Jimmy. We got Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes versus Judgment Day. I mean, we all know what happened. I don't know what that new finisher you could say is for Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, where it's like a Cody cutter and like a 1D. I don't know. So, I mean, I don't know if I like that. Like I was watching my a friend of mine who goes live like on Mondays and Fridays, like Matt Choice. He was doing a Monday Night Raw live stream, and he said, I think I remember he's saying that he didn't think that finisher was like a good finisher, mainly because it looked like Cody Rhodes when he lands. He kind of lands on his like neck and stuff. I don't know what Matt said, but I know it was something to that degree. And I'm like, if they do that move and he like really seriously could hurt himself, I don't know why they would do that. They should just do the 1D finisher the normal way that the Usos were doing it, basically, because it's the same way that Dudley Boy. Basically, it's the Dudley Boys 3D, but the Usos called it 1D. But yeah, we saw JD McDonough got involved, or at least attempted to at one point, but would hit Priest with the Money in the Bank briefcase accidentally. Because now after watching the show, I can honestly say that I saw what happened, and it did look like he was gonna try and hit Cody Rhodes with the briefcase, but he got out of the way just in time, leaving Damian Priest open for. And I'm kind of shocked that they're just giving him chance after chance after chance. I mean, yes, I know JD McDonough is Finn Balor's friend for a long has been his friend for a long time, and I know Finn Balor trusts him, but I feel like every single time JD, at least most of the time when JD McDonough tries to interfere in Judgment Day business, interfere on behalf of Judgment Day, it just backfires. Unless they're playing this out and just letting JD, um, unless they plan on kicking out somebody and then replacing them with JD, yeah, I just don't know. I feel like they're stronger with JD and the rest of Judgment Day just intact. Just don't kick anybody out. I don't think anybody deserves to be kicked out of Judgment Day just yet. I mean, especially not Dominic, because he's not. Because Dominic has gotten so much better as a part of Judgment Day, but he's still not there yet. He's still not there yet. So it's not like but he's definitely gotten better in the ring, on the mic. I mean, come on. I mean, look, you can say what you want about the booze not being real, but I just don't think you can fake that. You can't fake that. When you got a WWE wrestler that you just cannot stand, and you just cannot stand for the love of God, you just want to boo him. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do, and you do that. You boo him. Basically, basically. But yeah, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso won. It was a good match. It was a good match. Maybe it lasted just a little long for my taste, but that's okay. It's like there were only 5 matches on this Fastlane card, which is surprising. And just so you know, the main event of Monday Night Raw that we got a couple weeks ago, that was Tommaso Ciampa versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title. That match was actually supposed to be at Fastlane. It was supposed to be a Fastlane, but for some reason they decided to give it to us on a main episode of Monday Night Raw, which I actually think was a better idea because it was a great match. But then again, what? But then again, they probably could have added at least a 6th match. Maybe Ciampa could have asked for a rematch, and we would have gotten it at Fastlane. Still probably would have lost because I don't think Gunther's losing. I would like to see him lose that Continental title at some point, but I just don't know when it's going to happen or if it is. I mean, I don't know. If Gunther wins the Royal Rumble next year, he could go into WrestleMania as Intercontinental Champion, main event night one of WrestleMania, and then win the World Heavyweight Championship or whenever, whatever, whoever the champion is. Could be Seth Rollins, could be whoever, and walk out of WrestleMania as a double champ. And then he could, I don't know, he could just decide to just, for, but then I'm trying to think of a word. He, he could resign as Intercontinental Champion, give up the Intercontinental title, and then have the title be won in like a tournament or something. Because I think yeah, I think that's what happens. If whenever Gunther decides it's time to give up the title, whether he gives it up after WrestleMania or whether he loses it before WrestleMania, if he is Intercontinental Champion by WrestleMania, wins the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, and ends up being double champion, what he should do is he should just give up the title, and then they should have a tournament to crown a new champion instead of just having just a fatal four-way match to crown a new champion or a triple threat match or whatever. They need an actual tournament because they've done pretty well. Because they did very well with that Intercontinental Championship tournament they did in 2020. Because they that the finals match between Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles was a great match. It was a great match. I didn't think it was gonna be as long as it was, as long of a match as it was for WWE television. It went almost like 25, maybe even a little bit more than that. But it was great. I can't. It was a great match. But yeah, that's what it was. We got five matches for Fastlane. Let's see, what was match number two? Match number two. Oh, I can't even remember most of them. Oh, match number two was I think the LWO. Yeah, it was the LWO versus with a mystery partner versus the new Hurt Profits. I guess you could say that. I guess you could say it's the Hurt Profits. The only thing that would make even the least bit of sense to name them is the Hurt Profits. You could say Hurt Business 2.0, but that's not what it is because it's not the Hurt Business unless it's Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. So I could say call them the Hurt Profits. Makes sense to me. But yeah, it was a good match. It was another pretty decent match. I even saw Zelina Vega. At one point, even Zelina Vega got involved in the match by delivering a Meteora to Montez Ford. I was like, oh my, damn, she just decided to just go for it. She decided to just go for it and just decided to just, hey, I'm gonna shut this cocky dude up. And I'm sure that's the first time he's had that happen to him and had something like that happen to him, and it's not actually. That was probably the first time he's ever had a woman other than his wife Bianca Belair do something like that to him. Oh God, I don't mean to get into the problem. Forget I said that. Forget I said that. But yeah, what we got during the match was at one point during the match we were able to find out who the mystery partner is because their music eventually hit, and it was Carlito, Caribbean Cool. I don't know what to say about that. I'm not that I was never really a fan of Carlito Caribbean Cool. I was like, he was probably one of those superstars that I would have been like, it's not that I don't like him, but it's not that I do like him. It's like a bunch of these NFL teams that I don't really like, but I don't hate them either. Because there are a few NFL teams that I just hate, and a few that I just absolutely love. But then there were those that I'm just not a fan of, and I'm also not a hater of. So it's like, meh. Like I didn't really care for Carlito, but I didn't hate Carlito. I just didn't really care for him. Then again, I didn't really watch WWE until 2019, so it's like when I finally did, it's not like I already knew who Carlito was. But yeah, that's what it was. What we got. We got Carlito returning. It was great. Right? Bobby Lashley is still great. I don't know what Bobby Lashley has done to make himself look like he's in his 30s when he's really in his 40s. He doesn't look at all like he does, like his actual age would tell you. His age would tell you he's like 40 something, but his but he looks like he's at least 5 to maybe 10 years younger than he actually is. And he moves and wrestles like he's still young too. It's like Edge Edge actually looks his age, but still seems to wrestle very good for his age. Bobby Lashley doesn't even look his age, and also wrestles like he doesn't like he's still one of the best out there. So that's definitely I mean that's great for Bobby. That's great for Bobby. The next think next match, yeah, next match we got was a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. The Women's Championship, we got Io Sky defending versus Charlotte Flair and Asuka. We got, let's see, it was, I don't know if you could say we got anything like special out of this match. This was a triple threat match, but none of the women actually took advantage of that stipulation and decided to use like weapons and stuff. But I guess maybe they all thought they didn't need to. They didn't need to use weapons. Their bodies are weapons, and they'll use them in any way they can. But something that I saw at the end of the match definitely one of the things we did get in this match, which I thought was actually very shocking, was that they had Charlotte Flair take the pin here at Fastlane. Now that's surprising to me because I know how protective WWE has always been of Charlotte Flair when it comes to triple threat matches. When it comes to triple threat matches for titles, if Charlotte Flair isn't going to win the match, then they usually will have one of the other competitors, the the other person that's not champion in the match, she'll take the pin. The fact that Charlotte Flair actually took a pinfall loss at Fastlane is definitely a sign that Vince McMahon is no longer in complete control of WWE Creative. I mean, this past Monday Night Raw, we got so many. There were so many talent. There was so much talent that was like black and gold NXT from like a lot of the superstars we saw on tonight on this past Monday night's Raw were were a lot of NXT talent. Like Damian Priest. I mean, even some of the ones that have been here for a long time were former NXT superstars like Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, but then some of the more recent NXT talent like Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, Tegan Knox, Bronson Reed, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. So much talent from NXT within the last couple of years that have now jumped up to the main roster. Like I'm like, okay, the fact that we're getting all of this influx of NXT talent on the main roster that of this NXT talent that have been on the main roster now for a while but have not really done much of anything. I mean, that's also another sign to me that Triple H is in power. Because on SmackDown, we saw the debut. I guess now it's official that Dragon Lee is on SmackDown, and we also got Cameron Grimes on the last like few episodes. We've been seeing Cameron Grimes back, basically back from I don't know. I guess cryogenic sleep or something. Because he's that's basically when he's basically been MIA since he joined the main roster. He had sort of a mini feud with Baron Corbin, but then that was it. Baron Corbin then went down to NXT, which I think is a good idea for him. I think he deserves to get better, and I think NXT will definitely help him get better. And then after his little feud with Baron Corbin, he slipped away and has done absolutely nothing. But now we're seeing him and Dragon Lee sort of teaming up against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I like that. At least it gives them something to do other than just sitting catering all day, every every show. But yeah, thanks you guys. Thank you guys for coming. I'm not ending the live stream, but I'm just saying thank you guys for the likes. Thank you guys for coming. Let's see, we got third match. Yeah. Oh, and also another thing that I saw during the triple threat match between Io, Asuka, and Charlotte was that apparently when they were doing after the match, when they showed the replay of Io Sky doing the over the moonsault after Bailey when Bailey was distracting the referee, apparently Asuka tapped out. Now I don't know if Charlotte Flair will address this on a future episode of Monday Night SmackDown. Maybe she'll address it this upcoming Friday on the quote unquote season premiere. And it's not a season premiere, guys. It's just a special episode of Monday Night Raw that they do because every major network usually starts showing their fall shows, premiering their fall shows this month or last month, as the case may be for a lot of them. So I guess they decide. I guess they feel like, hey, we need to do something special for the because everybody else is debuting their fall shows. Maybe we should just do a quote unquote season premiere, even though there is no break in WWE. There is no break in WWE. It doesn't just start at one particular date and then ends at a particular date, and then for like a couple months, and then for like a few months, there's no WWE. WWE is constant, 24/7. Every month of the year, there is no break for WWE. It's consistently every single day of every single year, every single day of every single month, all year. So it's not like all of these shows that they debut in the fall that have like 20 or so episodes, and then they stop, and then they have the season finale, and then they go. There is no season finale for SmackDown for WWE because there is none. It's consistently on 24/7. I just don't know why they feel the need to call it a season premiere episode simply because it's around the time that most major networks debut the fall shows. Like, come on, make it make sense. But yeah, she could address that this Friday, and that could lead to a Neo Sky versus Charlotte Flair one-on-one match at a pay-per-view, which I don't. Maybe a crown jewel, maybe it's a crown jewel. I don't know, but if that happens, I'm very worried that WWE is going to give Charlotte Flair the the title because they wanted to break her father's record of 16 world titles, and I don't know if I like that. I just don't know if I like that. Io Sky just won the title. I think she deserves at least to hold on to the title at least for a few more months. Maybe at the end of the year, maybe have her lose it at Royal Rumble. I don't know, but I just don't think she deserves to lose the title that way. I don't think she deserves to lose the title so soon after winning it. I know the decision could be because WWE just doesn't have faith in Io Sky as a champion, but that's not on their. But that's not on her. That's not her fault. If they take the title off of her because they don't think she's a credible champion, that's not her fault. No, Danny, you did not. You dreamt. No, you did not dream it. It happened. Undertaker came down to NXT, confronted Braun Breaker, and gave him a choke slam, and gave him a right hand and a choke slam. And Braun Breaker's no jobber. I do believe what Paul Heyman said is true. He could be a future main eventer in WrestleMania. He's young. Base. He's basically got his father in. Is he's basically WWE. He's born from WWE royalty. He's being Rick Steiner's kid. So I mean, I could see him. I could see Paul Heyman being right about that. But yeah, I don't know if Feel Sky versus Charlotte Flair is going to happen 1-on-1. It just seems like from what happened at Fastlane when it went with Asuka tapping out, but the referee not seeing it, Charlotte could use that as an excuse to get a 1-on-1 match with Io Sky. And then if that happens, I really do hope that they keep the title off of Charlotte Flair for the time being, because I just don't think she really needs another pointless title reign that will probably last no more than like a month or two, because that just seems like how most of her title reigns last. Most of her title reigns only seem to last that long. Only a few of them have really lasted a long time. I mean, come on. Do we really need Charlotte Flair to beat Ric Flair's record? I don't think John Cena's gonna do it. I don't think John Cena's gonna do it, but I don't think that record needs to be broken. I just don't think it needs to be broken. But that's my opinion. But that's just my opinion on it. So, let's see. The next match we got for Fastlane was another tag team match. We had 3 tag team matches tonight. Not bad. They weren't all. None of them were bad tag team matches. They were all very good. The LWO versus Street Profits were probably the most was probably the most simplest. Was probably the most simple tag team. Probably the most formulaic tag team match. But it was still pretty good. It was probably the most basic tag team match, but it was still pretty good. But second, next to last match was a tag team match between LA Knight, John Cena versus the Bloodline of Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. And we still don't know if Jimmy's actually in the Bloodline or whether he's out. We'll probably figure that out. We'll probably get our answers to that question on Friday when Roman Reigns returns for the first time since SummerSlam, which will be basically 2 months. It'll basically be 2 months since we've seen him. That's basically the MO of Roman Reigns now. Defend the title maybe once or twice at a couple of PLEs, and then vanish from television for basically 2 months. Where in the meantime we get nothing but we get a lot of stuff that just doesn't make any sense, but will probably make sense by the time Roman Reigns comes back. Because I mean, everything they've done up until this point with the Bloodline, it's probably gonna all tie in together once Roman Reigns returns. I hope. I hope we get an answer as to whether or not Jimmy's actually in the Bloodline, and I feel like Jimmy Uso taking the pinfall loss, taking the pin at Fastlane was the best. This was the better decision instead of Solo Sikoa. They very well could have given that to LA Knight. I think it was LA Knight who got the pin because I did watch it, and yeah, LA Knight did get the pin, and they could have given it to Solo. Could have given him Solo Sikoa, but I feel like Solo is already in the bloodline, and his place in the bloodline is already set. He knows he's not going anywhere. Jimmy is the one that has to prove himself, is the one that's been having to prove himself. And so having him take the pin and having him be the reason that they lost, that definitely gives Roman Reigns enough of a reason to just say, I'm done. You're out. You thought you could just come back in like nothing had happened. Like, you super kicked me. You turned your own brother against me and whatnot. Like, there's just so many things that Jimmy Uso did in the last couple of months that, that if he thinks he's just going to come back in to the bloodline and have it be just like old times, it's not going to be that way. Roman Reigns is not going to forget what happened that night of Champions. But yeah, John Cena in LA Knight won, which I thought was the right decision because it furthers Jimmy's it furthers the story that Jimmy Uso was trying to get into the bloodline, but as of late just keeps making mistakes and keeps goofing up and keeps causing the bloodline to lose big matches. I mean, that was the biggest match of LA Knight's career, teaming with John Cena against the bloodline, which is one of the best heel factions right now, but it's sort of teetering on teetering. But then again, most of the heel factions so far are sort of teetering, like Judgment Day or or even Imperium showing signs of maybe a breakup, which I don't know if that's even gonna happen, but it doesn't matter to. But that doesn't really matter to me. 31 minutes, 20 seconds, not bad for a live stream. I haven't been, I haven't done like one of. Don't know when I'll actually end this live stream, but hopefully I'll end it pretty soon. Hopefully I'll end it. I don't know. I don't know when I'll end this live stream, but hey, the match, it was what it was. The Judgment Day just were beating up on John Cena for the majority of the match, as it is always known, as it is with tag teams. I mean, the LWO versus Street Profits tag team match was actually almost sort of the same thing. They were beating up on the baby faces a lot during the match, but then as soon as Carlito came in, it was like, but as soon as Carlito joined the match, it was like, okay, the baby faces finally got some momentum going, and then they eventually won. Same thing here. It was the Bloodline beating up on John Cena for the majority of the match. LA Knight didn't get to see that much action, but once he got into the match, it was like complete 180 from what was originally. Because at the beginning of the match, it was Bloodline dominating. Second part of the match, it was LA Knight dominating. John Cena would deliver a five knuckle shuffle. Then LA Knight would hit his finisher on Jimmy. Blood Force Drama. 1, 2, 3. LA Knight and Cena win. Then LA Knight would proceed to raise Cena's hand in the same way that Cena had done to him at Payback. So I guess now we finally, and I mean at Payback, LA Knight was actually kind of upset that John Cena decided to get involved in his match, but he was willing to, I guess, raise his hand this time. And so, okay, and now the main event. This was the only match where I thought, I mean, up until this point, I had predicted the Hurt Profits winning. They lost. I predicted Judgment Day winning, and they lost. So, and I did predict the Sky winning, so one that was one win for me. And then I predicted Cena and LA Knight winning, so that was one for me. And then I also predicted Shinsuke winning, and then he lost. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, it was a last man standing match. Now, in my mind, the best last man standing match that I've seen was SummerSlam 2022 Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. I've seen some very, very good last man standing matches before. This was one of them. This one between Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth Rollins was one of them. The other one that I've seen is actually the other last man standing match that Shinsuke Nakamura had with AJ Styles back at 2018's Money in the Bank pay per view, where it was also for a championship, the WWE Championship. That was a good last man standing match, a very good last man standing match, which AJ Styles won. I don't know if Shinsuke should have won I don't really know if AJ should have won that match. Although I didn't watch WWE at the time, so it's not like I was like, I think Shinsuke should have won. But I do believe at some point Shinsuke Nakamura should have already been a world champion. But his like feud with AJ Styles and his feud with Seth Rollins, that's the only two times we saw him challenge for a WWE World Championship. The only twice. And most superstars in WWE, like June, have had at least maybe five, six, seven opportunities at a World Championship, depending on who they were facing at the time. But Shinsuke Nakamura's only had only twice has Shinsuke Nakamura had the ability to challenge for the championship. And both times he was actually a heel. So I feel like it was, but I feel like this heel turn was it's a lot better than his heel turn from 2018 where it was just, I mean, what it was in 2018, it was just basically just low blow after low blow after low blow after low blow. That's basically what his MO was. Low blow, and that's all it was. Here it's actually a good heel turn, and I do believe they did a great job of actually taking Nakamura and making him look like an actual threat to Seth Rollins, even though I guess they felt he wasn't going to actually win the title. I certainly do hope they give Shinsuke Nakamura a chance at the title. Okay, I do feel like he deserves it, but it's just that either WWE doesn't care enough about him to give him the title, or they just don't trust him to be a good champion. And again, that's not his fault. It's not his fault that they don't trust him. It's their fault for not trusting him. He's doing everything he can to get over with the fans as a credible heel, and I think he has done that, but it's just that WWE either just doesn't care enough or they just don't trust him enough to be a good champion, like Seth Rollins. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just a dumb excuse. The fact that you just don't think he could be a credible heel champion is stupid. But hey, it is what it is. Shinsuke Nakamura, from the onset, from the moment the bell rang, most of his offense, if not all of it, was targeting the back, was based on targeting Seth's back. We saw both of these men take some scary bumps in the match, and there were a couple times near the end of the match where I thought Seth Rollins was actually going to lose. At one point, we got Seth Rollins on a ladder about to get deliver some offense to Shinsuke, but then Shinsuke would I guess get off the announce table and would climb up the other side of the ladder, would proceed to spew red mist in Seth's face, pushing him off the ladder onto the announce table, which inevitably got destroyed. At that point, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's it. Shinsuke's winning. But then Seth got up, and I was like, how? And there was like I think like one other time just prior to that where where I also thought he was gonna like not make it to the count of 10, but he did. I was like, no, actually, no, it was after that. It was after that where would proceed to do a Kinshasa through a table, but thinking Seth Rollins through a table via Kinshasa knee strike, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's not getting up. But yeah, oh yeah, what I was saying earlier, yeah, that was a spot where he also did a meteor, where Nakamura would do like a meteor-like move through a table, put Seth, had Seth Rollins on a table, and then decided to do like a meteor-like move through the table, double knees through the table. I thought that was down then, and I think right after that was the ladder spot, and then the table spot, which I also thought then the table spot in the ring, which I thought was also going to be the end of the match, but Seth Rollins, for some reason, he just got back up. At first, I was like, come on, Seth. When are you going to start thinking about yourself and about your career and about your family? I mean, yes, I know Seth Rollins is a very prideful champion and would love and just can't seem to see himself lose the title, but at some point he's going to lose it and then he's going to have to leave, get back surgery, and then come back because I think it's inevitable that he's going to, his back's either going to give out on him or he's going to, I don't know what's going to happen, but eventually Seth Rollins is going to have to take some time off. And once he loses that World Heavyweight Championship, I feel like it's going to happen. So, but yeah, it was a great match. It was a great Last Man Standing match. Maybe not the best Last Man Standing match because, like I said, the best Last Man Standing match, in my opinion, was last year's SummerSlam between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. If anything, just because of that moment when Brock would just lift up the ring with the forklift, and it was like, holy hell! I've never seen that. I've never seen that in any Last Man Standing match or in any WWE match ever. Using a forklift to lift the ring up with Roman Reigns in the ring, mind you. So I was like, damn. At the time, I was like, damn. 41 minutes, 30 seconds. So, I mean, what do you want me to talk about? When do you want me to like review the match, like match up, like move like what they did? Like it's basically just the offense was like basically like for Shinsuke Nakamura, the every single bit of offense that Shinsuke delivered was directed mainly towards the back of Seth Rollins, which I thought was the smart move because that's what Shinsuke's been targeting basically ever since he started this feud with Rollins. It's all been about the back. It's all been about the back. Seth's back has been killing him. It's been hurting him for years now. And that's what Shinsuke Nakamura has been targeting. So I mean, it's a good strategy. It's definitely a great strategy because if you know your opponent has a bad back, it wouldn't. I mean, why wouldn't you want to target it if you're Shinsuke Nakamura? But yeah, that was. I mean, that was basically payback. That was basically no, not payback. That was basically Fastlane for you. I mean, if I had to rate Fastlane today, if I had to rate Fastlane on a scale from like 1 to 10, I would rate it like a 7 out of 10. It was a very good show. It was a pretty good show. Did it feel maybe like just like a like a special episode? Did it feel like a special episode? Like a special like 3 hour? Did it feel like a 3 hour like Monday Night Raw episode of a special 3 hour episode of Monday Night Raw, maybe, but it was like, but it was good. The tag team match, all the tag team matches were good. Triple threat match, there were some bumps, there were some spots that were a little botched. I mean, the crossbody spot that Charlotte Flair did wasn't a good crossbody because I'd seen earlier on in the show I'd seen both Jey Uso and Santos do a crossbody on their opponents, and their crossbodies were much smoother and were actually like done the way it's supposed to be. Charlotte Flair did not do her crossbody very well. That's one of the few things I can say about that match. It was a good triple threat match, but there were some spots that could have been better, could have been done better. But then again, that's just me. Well, I'm actually sure a bunch of other people would probably say that they feel the same way about that match. That it could have been done a little bit better. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody for joining me. It's now almost 45 minutes, so I feel like that's a good time to stop it. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this as a live stream. I know there are some people that maybe when they do like a review for something like this, they probably just do like a video, like a long video, and then they just upload it to YouTube. But I wanted to do a live stream. I want to do a live stream for these reviews, like of like WWE PLEs. After I like watch them and then I just do like a review for them, I want to do them as a live stream when I can, obviously. But yeah, it's after 45. It's past 45 minutes now. I'm gonna end this live stream. I want to thank you guys for coming. You guys, for the people who did come, thank you. I appreciate it a lot, and I will see you guys later. Don't know next time I'm gonna go live will more than likely be on Saturday. That's obviously that's the only day I know for sure that I go live every day of the week. That's the only day of the week where I know I'm going live. It's just a given for me now. So that's really the only date where I'm absolutely certain that I'm going live, unless something happens and I know I can't, or for some reason I just miss it. But hey, I just want to thank you guys for coming. Like I said before, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for the likes. 5 likes. It's not bad. Usually about what I get for a live stream when I'm live. I know that there are some people that might come onto the live stream afterwards and watch it and then leave a like. So by the time like tomorrow gets here or by the time Friday gets here, this live stream may have like 6 or 7 or 8 likes by then. Who knows? But hey, thank you guys for coming, and until next time, I will see you all later. Peace.